Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Sunday, January 16, 2022. And the sun continues its transit through Capricorn for another 5 days or so. This is really an appropriate time to look back on the sun's transit through Capricorn for us this year and just see how it had an effect on us. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, is very interested in responsibility. It's very interested in tradition, doing things that are tried and true to achieve the ambitions that it has set off on. So, what part of that has influenced you over this last month? What ambitions and aspirations have you taken up and given your labor to, and how is that working out for you? Also, what qualities have you learned about yourself under this influence that you might be able to bring with you into the rest of the year? The moon is in Cancer today, as it will be tomorrow when it's full. Moon and Cancer are very like chocolate on chocolate. They're very much the same kind of vibration. It's about your home life, and it's about your emotional life, and also your intuitive life. So if you're feeling deep in your emotions at this time, or if you're just feeling like being at home and you want to be around those things that you've collected for your own comfort, you wouldn't be alone. That is the moon in Cancer. And the waxing gibbous nearly full moon energy of this moon really, is still inviting us to focus our energies, and to finish up the planning process, to finish up the process of bringing things into fruition so that tomorrow we have a chance to appreciate and celebrate what we have achieved, what we've worked on, the goals or intuitions that we set for ourselves and have made some progress on. Okay, let's go over the legend very quickly so that we have an idea what energies we are working with, what all these symbols on the page mean, and then we'll get into some interpretation. The sun, as ever, is at the top of the list, and the sun represents our outer life. This is who we are when we step out the front door and the person that people first get to know when they meet us. This is also how we engage in our work world, our social and civic world. After the sun comes the moon. The moon represents the inner life. This is our relationship with ourselves and also what we feel with our emotions, what we know through our intuitions, and how we are engaged in our domestic world, at home, with our loved ones, and all those things that we like to have around us. Uranus is on the page today. Uranus represents doing things differently, and so often brings about with it some changes. Venus is all about love and money, or how do you relate to those people and things that you value the most? Pluto brings around transformation. It really relates to the depths of experience and the search for deeper truths. And when we gain those deeper truths, we are then transformed. Mercury is about the intellect, especially your day-to-day communications and plans that you make and the running around that you do. Chiron is here. Chiron is about your capacity to heal and what it is that you're working on healing. As for aspect energies, we have a few of them on the page today. We have a sextile, a couple of sextiles, one coming up. And sextile is a really positive vibration. It lends a sense of cooperation between the effects of these planets, and so we can use that cooperative vibe to actually manifest or generate some positive outcome. Conjunct is an amplification energy. So when conjunct happens, that means these two planets are basically in the same place in the sky, and they tend to, we would think that they kind of brighten one another's effects. So they are both amplified, their influences are both amplified in our lives, and that can be, a positive or a negative thing depending on your perspective and exactly what comes out of it. Opposition represents the potential for conflict and also an opportunity to find the balance in a situation. Signs of note on the page today are Capricorn, Cancer, and Aquarius. Okay, let's get into these aspects. We begin with the moon today, Central Standard Time, friends, at 7:58 in the morning. The moon makes a sextile aspect with Uranus. So the moon is our inner life, our emotional and our domestic sphere, and Uranus is that planet that comes around and asks us to do things differently. So we feel the urge, maybe even a little bit of restlessness or an energetic feeling like we're ready to try something new or different, especially in the home space, or we're ready to have a change of heart. And with the sextile aspect, that's really kind of a blessed effort. So any change of heart that you choose to make, any changes that you make in your home space, probably going to bring about a positive outcome. Of course, don't forget to communicate and collaborate with those people also in your home space. So 2 hours doing things differently, heart and home, with positive outcomes. And like I said, that's a 2-hour aspect, but the nice thing about a feeling is that it can turn into a whole mood, and you can allow that to inform your whole day if you'd like to. Then in the afternoon at 2:50, actually the next morning, on Monday morning at 2:50 a.m., the moon makes an opposition with Venus. So when the moon is when our personal life, our emotional and domestic life is in aspect with our planet for love and money, often we feel very receptive. We seek out that attention and affection that helps us, feel confirmed in our lovableness. And when the opposition aspect comes in here, that feeling of being receptive, that desire for attention and affection, can come across as demanding or overly needy, especially with Venus in retrograde right now. This is the time to seek to direct our love and our care toward ourselves rather than asking somebody else that we might normally rely on to give us that love and affection. Go ahead and do what we can for ourselves. Self-care challenge. That's how we balance it out. When we feel overly needy, or if we fear being seeming demanding, or if somebody's telling us like, hey, you're demanding too much of me right now and I just don't have it to give, this is the time to not become despondent or to feel unlovable, but to point that love back at yourself. And that's another 2-hour aspect. It is the middle of the night, so I hope that you just have some nice dreams and don't have to worry about who's taking care of you until after you wake up in the morning. And this brings me quite precipitously into the sun side of the page in the ongoing column. Venus has been retrograde for about a month, and it will be with us through the 29th of this month, so we're getting there, friends. This has been our time for our commitments to be under review, and this does relate both to our home space and our workspace, our romantic life, and our financial life, right? So we're looking at the commitments we've made, especially to our workspaces, but also the commitments we've made to anybody that we're committed to, any financial arrangement that we're committed to, any work arrangement or love arrangement that we're committed to. Those commitments are under review for us right now. And what we're looking for is whether or not we're receiving enough value for our investment. Now, under an aspect like that, moon in opposition to Venus retrograde aspect might not be the best time to be making any choices regarding like any final choices regarding whether you're receiving enough value for your investment. Sometimes we just don't feel like we can get enough, and that's part of being human. But in general, over this 6-week period, value for investment is the question. It's also an opportunity to turn all that caring, that love and labor that you usually put out into the world so that other people can give something back to you. Just turn it back on yourself so that you can see what you can get from yourself that you may not need to get from others. Also in the ongoing column through the 3rd of February is Mercury in retrograde. So our commitments are under review. Our communications are also under review. Mercury is your planet for the day-to-day thoughts, plans, and communications you make and the transportation that you use. So I talked about this yesterday. Often the balance we're seeking at this time is we all have something to say. We all have something we wish to express, but not everybody is being very receptive. Not everybody is listening. So we have to really train ourselves at this time to listen, to try to be receptive to the thoughts, plans, and ideas of other people. And when we are trying to assert our communication and make plans with others, and it doesn't seem like somebody is working, somebody is listening, we need to see what is working in our approach and what is not working in our approach, and just adjust our approach. There are more than one ways, more ways than one to get the point across, and sometimes we have to think about how best our message will be received. As for today on the sun side of page in the morning at 8:51, the sun makes a conjunct with Pluto. Now, conjunct means that those planets are in basically the same place in the sky. They tend to amplify one another. So the sun is in Capricorn. We're thinking about the work we do, the responsibilities that we have to maintain our networks for support. And Pluto is your planet for transformation, but it's also the planet that brings about extremes of experience and that desire to uncover deeper truths. So Sun in conjunct with Pluto really puts a spotlight on our ability to turn within and find a deeper truth. Our interactions with others are also in here. We have a lot of power at this time to personally to influence our outcomes, but that higher intensity focus, that tendency to maybe grill people or to interrogate systems can come across as a little bit too intense. So it's a good time to dive deep into your research and also into your intuitive and psychic tools and practices. This is a 1-day aspect, takes about 24 hours. We're going to say increased intensity and desire for more profound knowing. Right, so coming up tomorrow, we have the full moon in Cancer. And like I said, full moon in Cancer, full moon is a time to celebrate and appreciate what we've achieved, what we have. And in Cancer, we do that from a love of the home space and a love for the people that we keep closest to us, those things and people that we keep around us that give us the most comfort. So that's probably a great way to celebrate, is by cooking a nourishing meal, taking yourself a nice bath. Cancer is a watery sign, so warm water is a great healing, has great healing properties, and just stay home and enjoy the atmosphere there and be grateful for what we have. Coming up on Tuesday, we have a few things happening. Mercury is going to make a sextile with Chiron again, and we may recall that this happened a couple of weeks ago for a couple of days, and it's really an opportunity. It was like that was on the direct side of Mercury, and now this is on the retrograde side of Mercury. But it's an opportunity to try to express your worries and concerns, like, the things that you need to heal, the things that are not working for you. It's a good time to try to express them. While Mercury is in retrograde, we might have to do some listening in order to receive and then to express. And then Uranus is going direct, which brings the changes that we've been undergoing on the inside back out into the world. Pluto reaches its aphelion, which is its furthest point from the sun. So it kind of falls out of the spotlight, and it might become more difficult after this point to really see deeply or know deeply for a period of time. And then next Wednesday, the sun goes into Aquarius. We will no longer be in a sun transit through Capricorn. We'll be in Aquarius, and that sort of lifts the mood and makes us a little more curious and a little less interested in doing things in the traditional way. We look for ways to shake things up a little bit. And that's it for today's aspects, my friends. I appreciate you tuning in and reading them. We talked yesterday about the tarot card that I keep on the side of the board, and for a couple more days now, that will be the Four of Pentacles, and that's according to the time of year and how the numbered cards of the tarot relate to the astrology of the Wheel of the Year. So Four of Pentacles is a sign of conservation, and I think that's really interesting in light, especially of Venus retrograde in Capricorn, because we've been conservative with our love and labor while we seek that balance. It's also a time, it's also a card that indicates, like, yes, conserve your health and your wealth, conserve your resources, but also don't be stingy with them. And that's what Moon in Cancer is saying too, is like, what good are those things if we don't share them? What good is having a healthy heart and a loving home if we can't share it with others? So there's a balance to be struck there as well. And I'm just going to draw one tarot card for the day, keeping in mind that the sun is in Capricorn as well as in Venus, and as well as Venus and Pluto being in Capricorn, and the moon is in Cancer, where it will be for the full moon tomorrow. We have this positive aspect in the morning with Uranus, like doing things differently at home will bring us positive outcomes. And we also have this kind of these kind of challenges on the sun side of the page, where our commitments are under review, our ability to communicate is under review, and our search for deeper knowing, for better understanding, is in an amplified position. So let's draw a card for that. Two of Pentacles. So the word balance came up many times today, and this one really just says, we're learning how to manage these flows, especially when it comes to our health and our wealth. This line is a nice, what do they call it? An infinity symbol. So we always have resources at our disposal, and it's a matter of, finding a good balance regardless of what is going on around us. Right. So that's what I have to say about that. And that's it for today's Aspects, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Melanie Rose. If you have any comments or questions, I would appreciate if you would leave them in the comments section below, and I will be happy to see them and talk with you there. Otherwise, please give me a like my video. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Share this with somebody that you thought of while you were watching this. That might be helpful too, because if it resonates with you, then it resonates with the people that you know. So I appreciate your time again today, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more daily aspects.